We are in mid-November 2023, and there are many demonstrations for Palestine. Some of these demonstrations are labeled as calls for a ceasefire. However, many people in these demonstrations wave Free Palestine slogans. I am left puzzled. How do good and intelligent people overlook the fact that ceasefire and Free Palestine are completely opposite calls? Let me explain. Up until October 7th, there was a ceasefire, a complete ceasefire. Shots were not fired from Israel to Gaza, and neither the other way around. Israel's northern border was also fully quiet. There were several thousands of Gazans working inside Israel. Water and electricity was flowing from Israel to Gaza, and there was no war. There was a ceasefire. At the same go, unarguably, there was no Free Palestine. While Palestinian Gazans had full autonomy in their enclave, as they've had for 17 years since electing Hamas, their travel and imports were restricted, and just as importantly, 3 million Palestinians in the West Bank were, and still are, under complete Israeli control, without full civil rights, living among Israeli settlers that have full rights, just next to them. So to recap, up until October 7th, yes, ceasefire, and no Free Palestine. Then in the morning of October 7th, we saw a brutal attempt at Free Palestine. Palestinian Hamas came out of Gaza, overcame the Israeli defenses, and attacked Israel. They shot 3,000 missiles into Israeli population centers. They killed many soldiers at the border. They murdered many civilians in their homes near the border. And they capture hostages that are both soldiers and civilians, children, elderly, and disabled. And in my books, as I assume in yours too, this is ceasefire broken, very seriously so. As for Free Palestine, within that day, Palestine, while still far from free, hit the headlines again, Hamas style, Palestinian armed resistance style. Yet the Free Palestine masses bought it. Few questions asked. Since then, more than 10,000 dead, including many children, caught in a war they did not invite. No ceasefire. Over 200 hostages, including many children, not released either. So to recap, after October 7th and following Israel's counteroffensive, there is certainly no ceasefire, and in parallel, Free Palestine is chanted worldwide. Now, I don't know about you, but this is how I see it. As long as the core Palestinian means of getting results is through violence, then Free Palestine and ceasefire are completely opposite objectives. You can cheer for one, or you can cheer for another. But if you mix the two, you're either purely ignorant, or perhaps you support a ceasefire on one side, but not on the other. My suggestion is that if you really want to help, then try to do something different. Try to go to a Palestinian rally, not with your normal, typical Free Palestine slogan just next to a ceasefire slogan, because that is hypocritical. Rather try something like what I have here behind me. Try two flags. Say that you support peace, that you support a two-state solution. See how that works for you in the rally. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for peace.